So this is you, this is your goal, and here's all of your excuses blocking you from getting to your goal. So in this video, I'm just gonna, so you can get from here to your goal. Now, I want you to understand that every single excuse that you have right now, someone else already overcame. So you can do the same thing, and that's empowering. You can get mad at me for saying this and saying that your excuses aren't valid, or you can be like, yeah, you know what, that's actually true, that's super empowering, I'm gonna figure this out. And look, I'm not saying your excuses are totally invalid, I totally get it. Life hits you with things sometimes that makes it harder to get to your goals. But what I'm saying is that your excuses are not reasons you can't get to your goals, they're simply obstacles that you need to find a way around. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna speed run you through 8 of the most common excuses guys use for not losing weight, and I'm gonna give you a solution for every single one of them that I know works because I've used it myself. So excuse number 1 is I don't have time to work out. Okay, so the first thing I want you to do is just pull up your social media, see how much time you're spending on there per week. If you're spending more than like 2.5 to 3 hours per week on social media, you have time to work out. And yes, I know social media is fun, and maybe you're thinking to yourself, no, but I don't want to give up social media to go hit the gym. Okay, that's your choice, but at least now you know it's not an excuse that makes it impossible for you to hit the gym. It's just you prioritize social media above getting to your dream physique. Now, another thing that I recommend you do is just schedule out your week ahead of time. Take some time to see what you do on a regular basis throughout the week. Actually schedule out the tasks that you absolutely have to do every single day, like work and or study or picking up your children, whatever it may be. Schedule out those tasks and see how much time you actually have per day. I can guarantee you, if you actually take the time to look at every single day and schedule out the tasks that you have to do, you're going to see you have a lot more time than you think. The thing is, it's so easy for us to waste time on small things like scrolling for 15 minutes over here, doing that for 10 minutes over there, doing that for 20 minutes over there, and before you even know it, you wasted an hour or 2 of your time each day. And a lot of times it's on things that you don't really even value. Second excuse is I don't have time to cook. So once again, we can go back to social media. Just have a look at your social media time. Maybe you don't spend as much time on social media, and I'll give you a few other things that you can do as well. Now, before I get into the other things that you can do, like as you guys can see, a lot of this is just prioritizing. A lot of you guys have time, but you're spending it on things that don't really matter. And yes, it is fun to just fall back on the couch, watch some Netflix or scroll some social media. And I'm not saying you can never do that, but a lot of you guys spend so much time on those things that you don't have time to actually pursue your goals. So you just have to ask yourself, what do I prioritize more? Spending 2 hours on social media or cooking my own food, which is not necessarily that fun, but it's actually going to get me towards my goals. Now, the great thing is for cooking, you can actually spend time on social media or watching Netflix or YouTube while cooking, because a lot of times it's just like throw the chicken in the air fryer and then you can watch YouTube or Netflix on the TV while you do that, or cook up some ground beef, and while you do that, you literally watch Netflix. For example, let's say you get home from work, all you do, throw a few chicken breasts in the air fryer. I highly recommend getting an air fryer if you don't have one. It's not absolutely necessary, but that's going to save you a bunch of time. That's part of the solution for you don't have time to cook. Get yourself an air fryer. It's just going to save you so much time. So what you do is you get home, put the chicken in the air fryer, and then you go take a shower, relax a bit, whatever you want to do. You don't actually have to stand there and watch the air fryer cook the chicken, right? You can just put it in the air fryer. That takes like a few minutes, and then you can do a bunch of other things. Just another tip that's really going to help is when you do, for example, cook chicken or ground beef, just make more than you need, because then you can eat chicken tomorrow for lunch again, or you can even put some of it in the freezer and use it for the next 3 or 4 days. Now, the third excuse is you don't know what workout plan to follow. And I'm not going to lie, that's a big one. Like if you don't, I'm joking. I'm going to give you a workout plan. You can either follow this one, or in today's world, just go to ChatGPT. Like you can ask ChatGPT to do literally anything for you. And the amazing thing when it comes to like workout plans and dieting plans is they really don't have to be perfect. You just need to follow them consistently. So if you ask ChatGPT to create a workout plan for you, that workout plan will be good enough to get you very good results if you follow it consistently. Same with a dieting plan. Go to ChatGPT. ChatGPT is your friend. Or if you don't want to use ChatGPT, here's a workout plan. I love this workout plan. It's a great 3-day workout plan. Next excuse is you don't know what diet to follow. Once again, as I just said, you can go to ChatGPT, tell it everything about yourself, tell it about your goals, tell it about your situation, about your schedule, about everything that could be a problem or that could be an obstacle for you. Tell ChatGPT about it and ask it to help you create a meal plan for yourself. That's one thing you can do, which you couldn't do like 2, 3, 4 years ago. Now, a few other basic principles when it comes to dieting is just if it grew in the ground, grew on a tree, or had a mom and dad, then it's probably a good idea to eat it. Okay, that's not my line. It's a guy called Higher Up Wellness. That's his line. It's a great principle to work off of. Dieting is really not that complicated. At the end of the day, if you just hit your calorie goals, and we'll talk about that a bit later, you are going to get closer to your goals, even if you don't eat the healthiest food on earth. That's amazing. Next excuse is a slow metabolism. Now, I hate to break it to you, but that is really not an excuse. For 99.99999% of people, a slow metabolism is really not an excuse. You can go and search it. And even for people who actually has like a broken metabolism or a slow metabolism, it's only like maximum of like 300 calories less than other people's metabolisms. So it's not like you can only eat 500 calories and still pick up weight. Maybe you're gonna have to eat 300 calories less than other people to get the same results. And if you're still not convinced, here's a solution. Take your body weight in pounds, times it with 10 or 11, and eat that amount of calories every single day for the next 3 months. If you don't lose weight doing that, then you can personally reach out to me. I will pay you, because if you actually eat 10 times your body weight in pounds, in calories for 3 months straight, consistently, there is no way you won't lose weight, no matter how slow your metabolism is. And then excuse number 6, and this is not really an excuse, I don't think people would actually call it an excuse, but it's just being lazy. But that's the problem with a lot of people. Most of these things, if you weren't lazy, like if you really had to get to your goal, like your life depended on it and laziness wasn't a factor, like you would automatically overcome every single one of these excuses. And that's not even you consciously being lazy necessarily. A lot of times it's just your subconscious mind. Like subconsciously you're lazy, you don't really want to work out, you don't really want to start cooking your own food. So your brain starts thinking of reasons why you can't do those things, and then you justify it to yourself, and you don't feel bad because you don't think you're actually lazy. You just think that these excuses are valid and that's why you don't do it. But actually it's just your brain being lazy, thinking of ways to avoid doing the things that you need to do to get to where you want to go. Now, if you do struggle with laziness, there's no solution to curing your laziness. The only thing that I can really tell you is get a better reason why you want to get to your goal. It's like if someone told you they're gonna kill your family if you don't get to your goal, you would get there no matter how lazy you are, no matter how slow your metabolism is, no matter how busy you are, you would get there. I'm not saying you should get someone to tell you that, but if you have a very, very good reason to get to that goal, or at least get away from where you are right now, it becomes so much easier to take action, because at the end of the day, the reason you're not moving towards your goal is because it's more comfortable for you to stay where you are than it is to do the things you need to do to get to your goal. If it was less comfortable for you to stay where you are and you really wanted to get to this goal, like you had a very, very powerful reason to get to this goal, you would automatically start moving in that direction, because it's less comfortable staying here than enduring the pain of getting to your goal. So get a stronger reason why. That's how I got to my physique. I remember I was super insecure. There was a bunch of things that motivated me, and every single time that I felt too lazy to go to the gym, I was like, imagine never getting a six-pack, imagine never having that physique, imagine looking like this for the rest of my life. There was a bunch of things. Imagine staying this insecure for the rest of my life. I can give you an entire list of things that motivated me to do the things that I needed to do to get to where I am right now. Now, the next one is eating healthy is too expensive. And I don't really think, like, I don't understand why people can actually say this, because I can tell you guys, a pound of chicken, like obviously it depends, but if you get a pound of chicken breast fillets, that's going to cost you anywhere between like $3 to maximum $5. But if you get yourself a Big Mac with fries, that's going to be like between $7 and $10. So I don't really know what people mean when they say it's too expensive to eat healthy, because the boring healthy foods are usually cheaper than the takeouts and the fast foods. Yes, I know there's some organic things that are labeled as healthy that are very expensive, but typically things like pasta, rice, bread, chicken, ground beef, fish, okay, fish can be expensive, but those things aren't expensive. If you have the money to get takeout every single day, maybe even multiple times a day, then you have the money to buy healthy food. And then the last excuse is, I can't track my calories. Now, it is not absolutely necessary to track your calories, although I do recommend for every single person getting started on their fat loss journey to track at least for the first few months for multiple reasons. I have an entire video on that. But one of those reasons are it's going to get you predictable results because it's not a guessing game. And also you're going to learn so much about nutrition that later in your life you don't have to track everything anymore. Now, I don't really know what you mean when you say you can't track your calories. That's super vague. So is that because you're eating out each day, which you shouldn't be doing that every day? And I just gave you like ways that you don't have to do that every day anymore. And even if you do, you can still track your calories. Most of these tracking apps have ways you can scan barcodes. You can even type in Chick-fil-A this or Starbucks. Like most of like MyFitnessPal, that's just the most common tracking app. It has basically everything on there. And even if you make a relatively wild guess, then it's still going to be a lot better than not tracking at all. Just the act of tracking your food will already let you lose weight. And I'm not just sucking that out of my thumb. There was actually a study done by Duke University where people just tracked their food with no specific calorie goals or anything. They just logged their food, basically just journaled their food. And the average person lost like 5 pounds in a few months. I know that's not a lot, but they didn't even have a goal. Just the awareness of tracking their food without a goal already made them lose weight. So even if you don't track super accurately, if you start tracking your meals, you're gonna lose weight almost certainly. So there you have it, 8 excuses debunked. If you feel like I didn't debunk your excuse, please drop it in the comments. I did my best. A lot of these excuses, as I said, just comes down to not being lazy and wanting your goal bad enough. Because if you really want to get there, you will find a way around that excuse. And a lot of times it's not something that I can be like, follow this step, follow that step. You just have to want to get there bad enough and you will figure out a way in your specific lifestyle. But hopefully I gave you some pointers, some solutions to your excuses. Please don't let your excuses hold you back from your goals, because I can guarantee you the day you get to your goals, you're going to be so glad that you didn't let an excuse hold you back. And if you never get to your goal because of your excuses, you're going to regret it at the end of your life. So I hope this helped. I'll see you guys in the next one.